You're not going to be able to pronounce his name either.
Well then, all right, you do it.
I don't know. Dave Thayer, maybe? I don't know. This is an article on Forbes, because Clay likes Forbes, that says console generations are officially dead. And at E3, Microsoft announced the Scorpio, PS4 announced, or PlayStation announced something stupid that I don't care about. And it just kind of seems like, at the moment, they're completely casting aside this normal lifespan of a gaming console in order to put out more and more, which doesn't make any sense to me. I think that, if your sales for your first set of this console is going to be, say, just working small numbers, say 1,000, then your second iteration of the same console with slight improvements is going to be 50% of that or less, so 500 or less, because people already have the first one.
Yeah.
And the console generation kind of makes sense because that's how technology works. Technology comes in waves. Waves. This is the newest, hottest processor. Okay, you work with that. Well, you're not going to put out a new system that uses the same processor. It doesn't make any sense. You need there to be a significant technological leap for there to be a difference. And I think it's dumb. I don't know where to go. I mean, it could just be because it's changed, and change is scary. But I mean, do you buy the newest Microsoft thing every time it comes out? How are you working the cross-platform play? Because they're all so resistant to that. What about backwards compatibility? I think consoles are one of those things that they need that simplicity of, here's the set schedule. This one lasts 8 years, then we're putting out another one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if what you call it. I don't know if console generations are viable anymore because of the huge leaps that graphics are making in the last 5 years or so and into the future. I was just looking it up, and according to Tech Radar, the Xbox One has a graphical throughput of 1.3 teraflops. The next one, the Scorpio, is supposed to have 6 teraflops, nearly 5 times as much. So it is a big leap. And apparently they're going to unlock all 8 cores on the processor. It seems like they're going to use a similar processor, an SoC, on the Jaguar architecture from AMD. But as far as the graphics go, it's going to be gigantic. And I don't...
People ain't dropping $500 every 2 years, bro. It's not happening.
Well,
it's not happening.
This
As
one's going to be
gamer, it's not happening.
Well, this one's going to be 4 years from the release of the Xbox One.
I feel you, but how long is it going to take before I get fed up with it and join my brothers as the goddamn master race? Because I'm sick of dropping $500 every 2 or 3 years because Halo or the new Halo came out, or Xbox decided they needed a faster processor, or how long is it going to take, Clay? I'm a cynical ass person. Thus the name of the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so how long is it going to take before I get fucking fed up with that shit? Before it's always, well, you need to buy this new Xbox Scorpion shit. What's up? It's not going to take long for me to. It's not going to take long for me to get fed up with that shit. That's all I'm saying.
Or say Microsoft doesn't want to pay Bethesda to put Fallout 5 on the old one, but only on the new one.
It looks like I'm going PC because I'm not going to drop $500 for one game.
That's what I'm saying. Is where does not only do we not have the metrics to track this in this case scenario? I just fucked it up. My brain went all retarded right there. But we don't have the metrics to track it because they're so dependent. All of the metrics are so dependent upon what the other console is doing. Mm-hmm. I think that it's going to throw everyone for a loop. Well, we sold 6 million Scorpios. Is that good?
The thing is, okay, well, let's put this into perspective. The way it looks right now, the Xbox Scorpio, or Project Scorpio, is going to beat the ever-living shit out of the PlayStation 4.5. But it's coming about a year
6 months
after.
later.
Or
yeah,
6
or 8 months.
later.
Yeah, whatever he said.
So,
yeah. I read it.
So you've got the timing problem, but then you've got the advantage of, processing horsepower or whatever, gaming horsepower, we'll just sum it up that way. And then you've got an established audience who, some of which will feel betrayed by the quick generation or the lack of a true generation, and you've got the rest of the audience which will gobble up anything you try to force feed them. So there's too many factors, and there's no way to tell. And I mean, we could speculate, but I can't speculate on the idea of its success because there's simply too much to factor in, and you never know what the market is going to do. I mean, what killed the PlayStation 3 early on in their its lifespan?
Cost.
Just
Cost.
Yeah, a margin of cost. That's all
Yep.
it was. One mistake, they fucked it up. What killed the Xbox One? A
Same
margin
thing.
of cost
Yep.
for a silly accessory that wasn't even that popular the first time they fucking implemented it. So
Yep.
I don't really trust Microsoft or Sony to know exactly what their audience wants. But I do appreciate this upcoming, I want to call it a generation, because the graphical, the leap in power is gonna be fucking huge. So I'm happy that they're doing it, but I have no idea how it's going to affect their market.
Do you know who this is great for, Clay?
Who's that?
Me and you. Do you know why?
Because we won't have shitty fucking ports held back by their console counterparts?
Because our graphics won't be hamstrung by 30 frames per second because they wanted to release it on Xbox One.
Right?
We will, as PC gamers, we will have, I think that especially if they're producing it, because Microsoft will fit some of the bill for them to make it bigger, stronger, faster, harder, which means that the software developers can do the same thing. They can make it graphically, beautiful instead of cartoony. Which there's nothing wrong with that as long as you have the right aesthetic. Plenty of games have those cartoony graphics, and as long as you provide the right aesthetic with it, it's cool. Yeah. But the realistic graphics have been beaten down by consoles, in my opinion. And we were just talking last week or the week before about the new graphics cards that are coming out that are so much more powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This could be a huge leap forward for us, even though it could ultimately damn the console market.
Maybe. I always thought there was a bit of a straw man in the idea that the console market holds back the PC market. Not the market, I'm sorry, the gaming. Because if a developer wants to make a game, at the top tier of anything imaginable, they will. I mean, look at the developers of Crysis 3. When Crysis 3 came out from Crytek, there wasn't a computer in the consumer market that could play it at max settings. Not a single one. It required more horsepower than anybody had. Yeah, they still released it on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox.
That's why Crysis 3 sold 4 copies.
But, I mean, I think there is a bit of a straw man in that the consoles hold them back, because it's not really the consoles. It kind of is. Their presence makes a difference. But it really is the developer who chooses how they make their game and how they present it.
Yeah, they want to make it to make money, so they have to go where, most AAA games sell on console more than PC.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
It's just a fact. So it is holding them back, maybe, like you said, in a roundabout kind of way. But it is because they want to sell their games, so they have to make it fit to those consoles.
Yeah.
Mark, you got nothing on that?
No, don't really care. Graphical shit and frame rates and shit like that don't bother me the same way they do you guys. So
piss out of me.
Yeah, no, Clay too. But it doesn't bother me at all. If it drops frame rate and then it kicks back up 3 seconds later, I don't even remember that 15 seconds from then. So it doesn't bother me the same way it bothers you guys. So
Well, yeah.
It's cool. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't bother me at all. And since Clay started shoving it down my fucking throat, I started paying a little bit more attention. You know what I'm saying? I started paying more attention to when it happens. And when I'm playing Fallout, it'll happen once or twice in a 3-hour span. But literally 15 seconds later, I don't remember. So it just doesn't bother me the same way.
Yeah, PC gamers are a lot more picky because we will very voluntarily, with enthusiasm, go into the settings menu and turn a few things down and maybe one other thing up to avoid that one frame drop that you experienced in that hour. It's like, oh shit, what just happened? Hold on, let me turn down the textures a bit. Like, we're used to doing that.
Yeah, I don't care. It can drop if it needs to. It's cool with me.
All right, well, let's move on then.